Watching chess as a sport versus watching other sports is a little different because chess tends to get a little long and maybe a little boring for audience if the audience doesn't really understand what is happening. But there are a few games which are so interesting to watch that they are ranked right there at the top. I mean, I'm no one to judge which game is better than the other, but chess.com is. Chess.com has actually listed down top 10 best chess games in history, and we are going to study the second one of it. That is the Opera game. So the opera king isn't some sort of an opening, but rather it was a match played in an opera house. It was a match between Paul Morphy versus Duke Karl, and in fact another companion with him. Duke Karl invited Paul Morphy to watch an opera, and the sided out part was the chess match that was to happen between them. It is said that so like I'm sitting here and so Paul Murphy was sitting, at some place and behind him the opera was going on and all he was doing was watching it like that. And that is why it is said that he kind of like even played the game blindfolded. But the game was so aggressive and the game was so offensive that it is a treat twice to watch it. So let's begin seeing the opera game. Uh, in fact, it is said that the opponents, Duke Karl and his companion, were rather talking in three different languages so that Paul Murphy doesn't really understand what they are planning, what their strategies and everything. But despite of it, he won quite comfortably. And this 17 move game is something that looks very beautiful on board. So let's start playing it. Well, the game began with the classical move of e4, e5. Nothing really unique here. And Murphy decides to go with knight f3, playing the king's knight variation. And Black decides to play the Fildor defense. Till here, the game is pretty equal, but now mistakes start happening from the black side. Black, like after White plays the move d4, Black plays bishop to g4. Earlier, it was considered a book opening, but now it is considered a mistake. Why? Because if bishop does come here, then I can take on here. He can take me back, and I'll have the queen. You can have you can take the queen back, but I'll capture it with the knight. And now this fork is hanging. This bishop is under attack and stuff like that. Of course, the bishop can go back, but white is at a clear advantage now. It has an extra pawn. So bishop to g4 is not a good move. It's a mistake. So do not play bishop to g4 in your usual matches of win. But because he has now committed this mistake, Murphy does not. Murphy decides to punish him, and he takes on e5. But Black at least knows, okay, this will happen, then everything will go along that line. So he decides to take on the knight. Now, taking on the knight is also not really going to help you because I'll take the bishop back. And when you finish this exchange, I'm now going to attack you in the classic scholars make kind of thing. So now this bishop is here. The king's pawn is under attack from two sides and you don't really have a good defense. The best defense for black at this point would have been to bring your queen to f6, but black did not play that. Duke of Karl played knight to f6, and knight to f6 is actually worse. Why? Because now I can come here and you are under attack from two different sides and you can't defend both sides at one point of time. So clearly white is winning. Clearly white is winning. And you might argue then why is this game so great? Why like this is simply like you might argue that okay black was not playing really good at this point, right? No, the game is great because the game is great to watch. The kind of attack that is going to happen now is something that you should see. So yeah, at this point, white black has to choose one to defend, and black chooses to defend the f7 pawn. Where this is probably the best move that black could have played, but now white decides to pin the knight. It is clearly, what is white doing? White is trying to attack in every possible way. White had the option to capture on the b7 pawn and then take on the rook, but then it would not have been so cool. It would not have been so dramatic. So yeah, hold on to that thought. We'll develop the bishop and pin the knight. Okay, fair. What does white do? White now plays the move f6, c6. Why? Because now it has defended this pawn as well. Okay, you might think it on the first line this is good, but yeah, even now we are not capturing and then capturing back and then going for this attack. This is not what Murphy is doing. Murphy still keeps developing his own pieces. The knights are out, and now you can see that castling on both sides is possible, and complete development for White has been done. And what is Black trying to do? Black is still, trying to push off this bishop because this bishop is not really good. Paired with the queen, it's a deadly battery. So that's what he does. Um, at this point, you might think, okay, uh, I I think I should run away my bishop. My bishop is dying here. I can't really handle it. But no, Murphy decides to play this move. Now, this is a brilliant move because of the knight sacrifice. The stakes and I take on this pawn. And now all you can do is bring your knight here. You didn't really have another option because this knight was pinned from here. And if this king tried to come here, then I would have given him a long castle check. And you can clearly see how bad the situation might have gone. So yeah, Black decides to bring his knight here. That is all fine. But I still decide to long pass it. Murphy says that I'm not really taking away your pieces on my toes, but rather I'm waiting for you to make a mistake. I mean, already black is winning clearly, but still the game has to end in a beautiful way for it to be memorable, right? So let's end the game in a beautiful way. Rook comes to d8 to try to help this knight, and we say, "You don't care. I'll have your knight." He says, "Oh, okay, fine." The rook takes rook, and like black is in fact pieces and pieces up. Black is 3 points up right now, but still white is winning, and that is the beauty of this game. Rook comes again, and like at this point you can't really do anything. This rook is pinned, this knight is pinned behind this queen, and this pawn is also under attack from this queen, and so many things are happening. So black decides to remove the pin from the knight so that the knight could maybe help in another situations, but it is too late for that. Bishop takes rook, knight takes bishop, and here comes another brilliant move from white, queen sacrifice. Knight takes queen, of course. Now look at this board. Black has a knight, a queen, a bishop, a rook, 4 pawns, 5 pawns, sorry. And what does white have? Just a bishop and just a rook, and maybe 7 pawns. All right. And here comes this checkmate. The game ends in such a beautiful way where it just takes two of my pieces to deliver a checkmate while black has a plethora of them, 10 points materially ahead. But black can't really do anything. It is forced in a checkmate. And that is why the Opera game is probably the most beautiful chess game out there, and you should try to study it. It's a 17 move game, and that is why it gets even more interesting. The kind of offense that the game shows, the kind of offense that Paul Morphy shows. So that is it for today, guys. This was the Opera game. We could also cover multiple such games if you want. Do drop us a comment if you would like to watch any particular game or, in fact, any particular lesson in general. If you liked the video, do subscribe to the channel. You will find more such videos out there. Thank you.